And we are live! And we live again. Once more. Hey, I enjoying this red ride, but this thing serious. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Once again, the red man in the red house, doing red live. We here back at YouTube. Once again, having another fantastic week. I hope you all playing it safe, all the Trinidadians. I hope you all watching all this. You see, we have the COVID thing. Take a next twist and tell people this thing going for the long term. Everybody rushing, they want them open back borders and all that kind of thing. All you see the craziness that going on here. If you did bide with time a little bit, bed it down, ban your belly and hold it down for a little while. No, all you want to open bar and all you want to do this and do that. Look what happened. The second case might end up being worse than the first. And all we had to do was chill out a little bit and we good to go. But anyhow, we come here to talk today. So, but I just say I had to drop that in because we need to be careful, people. We need to be careful. You go sacrifice your life for a little bit of 2 hours of pleasure. Come on, man. Let me be bigger than that now. Let me be better than that. Right? So, we're back. Red again. Remember, this is the Endeavouring Entrepreneurs series, the business series. And we've been talking with some very nice folks over the past few weeks. See some people logging on already and start to make the thing active and nice. Hey, my boy Daniel Atherton, by the way, you'll hear more about this, but this is actually our special guest tomorrow. One out of, it's a family business, but we'll talk more about that in a timing. But he just here bigging me up. So, hey, Daniel, Kevin, nice to have you on the inside, man. Red, that's how we're doing it. So, we had a very interesting 2 weeks. This is a 9 episode. We are on the last week, the last 3 episodes, today, tomorrow, Wednesday. And we had some interesting folks. We had a number of different businesses. We had people talking about herbal tea. We had people in the makeup industry. We had people in construction. We had people in film and video. We had people in education. And this evening, we want to expand a little bit. These last 3 days will be interesting. Today, we're talking the arts. We have a couple that is deeply involved in the arts in Trinidad and Tobago and beyond. So we have them. You're going to hear about them in a little while. Then tomorrow we have Daniel and his sister and possibly his mom too. As well as we have a very special guest joining us from Barbados. Trini, but living Barbados. Well, at least up there for the while. I don't know if she up there because of the COVID scenario, if she moved to Barbados. But anyhow, she's in Barbados. She'll be joining in from Barbados as Candice Laborde. And then on Wednesday, I'm looking forward to Wednesday because Wednesday we have a very powerful couple that will be coming to close of this whole entrepreneurship week. And they have forged their own way in business. They have their own several businesses. They also do a lot of charity work. They're involved in heavily involved in church ministry and that kind of thing. But they're global. Both of them in their own worlds as well as a couple. They are global in scope. They do a lot of things globally. They work with a lot of people on an international level. Big companies, from some individual persons, children, right up to large companies and corporations. When you see their portfolio and you hear the resume, yeah boy, it's big. So that's Richard and Shelley. We have them coming in to close off the week, to close off the series on Wednesday, and we're going to have Richard. Richard, I'll go like that. Richard I like him too. He's kind of remind me of my partner Earl. Remember I told you about my boy Earl who taught me a lot of stuff in this technical. Richard kind of reminds me of him in a number of ways, in that he's very straightforward, to the point, but he's not personal. If you're doing shoppiness, he go tell you you're doing shoppiness, but it doesn't mean he had nothing personal against you. But it's just that what you're doing is shoppiness, and he will tell you that. He wouldn't mince words to let you know because it's for your own good. And I appreciate people like that. Because sometimes we feel we know it all and we have all the answers and things, and sometimes we need people to kind of keep us in check. Richard is like that kind of person. And then Shelley is like the mother, literal mother in the real sense of the word. And like a good mother, she will not be afraid to hit you 2 spank as well. Figuratively, not she go physically hit you. But where you need correction, she wouldn't hesitate to correct you in love, like a real mother. So, a fantastic couple. We're going to look forward to having them tomorrow. But let me get on to business. So as I said, as usual, if you're liking what we're doing, you like how the series have been going, you like generally what we've been doing, the partner says it's funny to hear me call him Daniel. That's true, because all the years I know him as Kevin. Only to find out that Kevin is actually his middle name. So I mean, official. I had to call him unofficially, on the channel. So, but as I said, you're liking what we've been doing. Please share, like the channel, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the little bell on the corner so you'll know when we go live. You get an email response or something indicated that we are live. And this evening we are live once again, and I have a very special guest couple. Now, it's supposed to be a couple. We understand how with those whole COVID and all the kind of mess that's going on. We have one half of the couple here, and the other half kind of fighting up in traffic. Of course, well, he's late, but we're trying to make arrangements so that when he comes, he'll kind of just slip in easily, and he wouldn't even know when he reached, and he'll just see from one person to two, and we'll see how that magic show will work in a little while. But my special guest this evening is a couple that goes by the name of, and I see she laughing. I'm not going to punch it, and I see she smiles. So he reached. Look at me reach. So let me pull them up one time. So our special guest this evening is Warren and Oretta Graham. And they, as I said, they are deeply involved in the arts and entertainment industry. I actually saw Oretta in a conference the other day where they were talking about some competition, and judging and judging criteria and how judges go about doing their thing and what makes a good judge and what makes a bad judge, and I was in school. I was in school again. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me open up their mics to allow them to say a quick hello. Oretta and Warren Allen. How are they going?
Graham.
Graham, sorry. Oh, you see? Yeah. They're thinking here. You go come.
I married him.
Yeah. Yeah, she married him.
So that's okay. That's all right.
Yeah, so how are you guys going?
We're good.
Good.
Nice.
No complaint.
Good
Nice,
afternoon
nice.
to the viewing public.
How was the traffic, Warren?
But not as bad as it could have been, thankfully.
Yeah, of course. That's all high pressure.
A little small bus route that can come back now, joking.
All right. Well, let me ask you to come in a little more. Oretta, could you just drift to your right a little bit so Warren could come more in the shot? Because looking at it, there, people wouldn't actually believe that Warren is bigger than you, eh? Because right now...
That's the idea.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
All right. All right, so let me jump right in. Oretta and Warren Graham. She was very quick to correct me. She married him, right? So, but I met her long before. Of course, her maiden name is Oretta Allen. Oretta and I met at and we were actually just talking about that. A tourism expo that was held at Center of Excellence some years ago, few years ago, and I had the distinct opportunity of being her mic man, for want of a better word. I was the man who would mic her up and make sure everything working and the sound system and and everything cutting nice. And I was impressed. I was impressed to see how she operated. She did some storytelling with children and all that kind of stuff. They had one of the smaller stages on the opposite side of the main stage. And she had a few sessions there, and she did some real. I said, this little girl easy, She had the crowd. She had the crowd there. You could see the children really being interested and loving what they were hearing and the story time and all that kind of stuff. And we had a number of conversations about doing productions over the years, and it never materialized. But look at where we are today. You understand? Yeah. But just to give you a little history, Oretta hails from Guyana. And of course, when she speaks, you will hear the twang. Our Caribbean accents are real nice. You will hear the twang. So she's married to Warren. Warren, you from Trinidad? By chance?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you are just making sure. Because, right, yeah. We mix up our head. I'm just making sure.
Yes,
so we have a Guyanadian couple Right? I just coined a word there. We have a Guyanadian couple in the mix. So let me start with our Oretta, because as I said, I met her first, and the whole thing stemmed from there. And of course, Warren has Warren is an act by himself. Although I don't know if you could drop a few jokes on me this evening, but Warren is an act by himself, right?
I don't know how to take that one.
But we go get.
I'll take it positively.
Yeah, take it nice. Take it nice. But let me start with Oretta. Oretta, how did this thing start for you?
Well, it started a while in Guyana. I was doing, through school, we always did poems and poetry competition and stuff like that. And then two of my friends, Kojo and Yapet, we came together and we started what was known as Guyana Poetry Night at an upscale restaurant. And the manager of the restaurant, he was into the arts. They liked what they were seeing, so we started running with poetry night, spoken word, and allowing young persons to come and speak and so forth. And it was, an environment where everybody could have grown and bloomed. And then Kojo, he kind of, encouraged me to be part of Carifesta, because Carifesta was going to be held in Guyana in 2008. And it was the first time I could have been part of it. And we signed up, and I became the production manager for one of the area, what we call theater houses. And it and there is where I met the Trinidadian theater contingent, which was led by Mr. Raul Gibbons, Mr. Norman Fullerton, Danny Lindsay. She was also artistic director, Marvin George, and I worked with them. They put on this show there at my production house. And then Mr. Gibbons said, you could study this, you could actually have a certificate and do a degree in it. And I was like, really? I wasn't sure about it. He said, yes, you could come and do it at UE here in Trinidad. And I said, okay, I'll think about it. But I guess because of what they saw and how I act and the things I was putting together and stuff like that, they really encouraged me. And I came down and I did it. I did the course in 2009 at UE, and I really enjoyed it. I started the degree program in theater, and doing a degree program in theater, you have to either put on a show or you kind of work with somebody else. And being the person I am, I said, why not put on a show? So Mr. Gibbons and Mr. Fullerton and Dr. Dandy Lindsay said, sure, go ahead. And I came up with Words Come Alive, which everybody knows. And I did the production at Theatre Workshop. At that time, it was in Belmont. And that was the birth of OA Productions.
All the listener. Interesting. I tell Oretta, I say, listen, just send me a short resume, a short bio of yourself, a little basic thing. So I read in here, and this is before marriage, teacher, poet, storyteller, practitioner of drama and theater in education. Boy, you know what I'm saying? She has a business called OA Productions Limited. She is involved in decorations, coordinating weddings, workshop, book launches, children's shows, award shows, events management. Who'd I run out of bread? You understand? Love Creations, and there's our next one. We commented that just now. OA Designs. There's another business which is involved in creation of products, hair products, tote bags, zip bags, bracelet, anklets, bottle craft, pencil case, etc. We will come back to that just now. So you start me off nice. So we got a good introduction of where this OA Productions started. OA, Oretta Allen, that's her maiden name, Oretta Allen Production. And that was, of course, before she became Graham. So how did Mr. Graham come in the picture? I want to hear from you. I don't want him to talk yet. I want you to say it. How did Mr. Graham come in the picture?
Well, I met Warren through a friend in 2016. And as you rightfully said, he is a whole show himself.
Wow.
So we're doing true conversation and he makes you laugh. So that's one good thing, you know.
He does.
As a female, one of the things you look for is somebody who allows you to be comfortable and be yourself, and you're able to make you laugh and so forth. So through the whole courting process and stuff, one of the things is that he always encouraged me to continue with my business, continue doing what I love to do and so forth. And as you know, being in the arts is not something that I could have fully sustained myself on. So I had to go and get like a 9-to-5 job. But I still do these things on the side. And he would be, no, keep going, push at it. And at the time, I think when I met him, I did not do a show that year. And he said, why are you not doing the show? I'm going to be here. I'm going to support you. And I think that's what I was missing a bit, because of that support of somebody to keep having your back and keep moving with you and so forth. So after I did a show, and I think that show is where it cemented him in realizing that I am the one.
He was impressed. He was impressed.
I did a show at Kaiser Blues, now Cafe Blues, when they used to be in Woodbrook. And he came and he saw me perform, and he saw the reaction in the crowd, and he saw everybody interacting.
Right, stop. Right, that is enough. I want to hear his interpretation now of that. So let me hear it, Warren. Let me hear it. So how this thing happen? Well, we hear her side. So she was of the view certain things. Let me hear your side now. How that connection take place?
Boys, for my own safety, I will stick with what she's saying. Because when the camera's gone, it's me to deal with
I tell her, let this man like act by himself.
It's as close as she says, as close to that, because I wasn't into poetry and that kind of stuff. I don't really know much about it. As such, I wasn't into it. So it was interesting, eye-opening to see the show and see how people reacted and to see what potential it had. Of course, she had on a black dress that caused a lot of problems for me mentally, but we won't get into that too much.
On our next show. Yeah, that's our next show.
Yeah, that I understand. But yeah, so that caught my attention, and I was very impressed and intrigued by the whole spoken word kind of situation. So that I mean, I really liked her personality, so that just kind of, as she said, cemented the whole situation.
Nice. Folks, here this here, I'm watching this man bio, right? Now, again, this is just short. This is the short version, right? Football player, both in school and intercol. Worked at the bank for many years. He was into sales. Well, I'm not going to say was, because once you're into certain things, they already don't leave you. Sales for major companies, both in Trinidad and Tobago. He started his own paving construction company, Raw and Tequin. That's it? I have it right?
Yeah, Tequin.
Raw and Tequin Construction Company. He's into manufacturing steel pan. And he's a marketing specialist, helping small companies to advertise and build their brands. I especially like that last one, because one of the guests that we had the other day said that at the end of the day, you must have a passion for people. If you seriously want to get into any kind of business, you have to have some kind of passion for people, because it's not just about you. It's about also delivering something to somebody else. So I especially like that last part. You see that they're helping small companies to advertise and build their brands. So Warren, let me come to you a little bit. Football player? Aye. Football. Intercol, football. Give me a little history now, man. Come now.
Well, I started off at Trinity College, and then that's in Mocha, and then ended up with Gustin, the Green Machine.
Yeah.
And well, football that's my stress relief, that's my passion. So I play football at every opportunity. I believe that if I had to die on a football field. That's my mentality.
Let's remember the camera will switch off. Remember the camera will switch off at some point, right? I'm just saying. So just be careful. The camera will switch off at some point, right? So just be careful.
But I understand that, so that's why I'm making all the memories now, so I can laugh at us later.
So, alright, Oretta, we'll come into your other business just now. So, at some point, two of you decide to join forces, for want of a better word.
Yeah.
So you have your individual thing going on, but now you have is Migral Industries. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Give us some insight of what is Migral. Well, of course, I understand that is now a jointing between two of you as a couple. So Oretta, you have your thing. Warren, you have your thing, but now you have this thing as a couple. So give us some insight into Migral Industries. Where did the name come from to start with?
Well, Migral Industries, actually, that name was created by my daughter, well, our daughter now, Zara. She basically put the first two letters of each of our individual last surnames together, and we get Migral, because her surname is Mitterhalzer, the MI.
Right.
And we liked the name, and we always decided that we wanted to do a family business. So it's basically fusing everything that we love into one or under umbrella. So you'll find that under Migral, we still do the marketing and the events and the productions. Warren will still do construction and stuff, and Zara, she's into craft, so she will have her own thing to do. But with we wanted to make it more of an online business, because as you see how things are going now. So I have done OA Productions for this year, Words Come Alive for this year as yet. So we want to see how we could utilize every online forums to actually form a business. So the products that I make, we have it in the services that Warren offer, we have it online. But not just us, we want to get small businesses, because from doing market research and stuff, we find that a lot of small businesses do not know how to market themselves, or they don't know how to utilize the social media. They may not have the opportunity or have someone who is there with them to give them that support. So somebody might be able to make a product, but they don't know how to register it, what kind of logo design they might want to get it to the public delivery. So all these things we want to be doing under Migral Industry. So for example, say some has a beauty line. They're making it right here in Trinidad and Tobago. We want to take that beauty line and put it on our online store. We want to be able to deliver it to customers so that people know. So I think all businesses, it might be a photographer who also have the talent but want to get into that. So we might use a photographer to take out the marketing material, whether it's the pictures and doing photo shoots and all these different things. So all of that comes under My Girl Industries.
Are you serious thing, boy? When I let so all right, let me talk the marketing side because I could do some help with that myself. See that whole social media. Listen, I really don't like social media. You know? No serious. I only use it because I know it's a tool that can help my business. But I really don't like social media. I know I have people who, I mean, every chance they get, they will live on Facebook. They will live on Instagram. If they could make their phone waterproof, they bathe with it and all. While doing Instagram or whatever. No, serious. That's their life. I can't.
Yeah.
No, people see me with my phone. I tell people, this is not a phone. This is my office. This business. I don't have time with the set of nonsense chat and all that kind of thing. When I go here to post something, it's business oriented. I send in serious information from somebody. I mean, a little joke now and then with family. As they say, all work and no play make Jack a dull boy. But I had time for the unnecessary dotish chat and old talk. And me had time for that. So, although I might be on this often, it's business. But if I could find a way to get it done without having to go, boy, I tell you, I don't like social media at all. So
that's where we'll come in.
Alright, so give me an idea. Of course, we can't talk figures and stuff now, but just a basic idea. So I have my red, right? So I want to get red more out there. I have my IG page, I have my Twitter, I have my Facebook, but maybe I'm not updating it often. I'm not posting too much. What could you now offer me?
So what we set up, or what we're going, because actually I should say this is a branch of My Girl Industries, because we're in the process of working on our website and our app and all these kind of things. So nice. You kind of getting it first hand here right now. So what we want to do is set up whereby it's a subscription fee. So if red comes on us, we are going to offer you a month. For that month, we're going to list how many times we're going to do your Instagram, your Twitter, your Facebook page. Basically, if you have a logo or you have ideas, we're going to sit down and discuss it with you. So every day, or at least twice a day, we must be putting stuff out on your social media. That is with your service. So whether it's a code that you have said, whether it's like an interview you having with us. So like if we were a part and you have an interview with 2 other persons, we will contact them, ask them what business they're in, what they're doing, take their information and post it on IG. So it's basically somebody going up on your IG and saying, check out Red at 5 o'clock. This is going to be happening. It's going live. We could do countdowns. There's so many things that you could do with your social media. So that is what we're going to be offering, so that you always should be trending, because that is the young people thing now. You must be trending. So we look for hashtags, create hashtags that would relate to your company, your business, anything, and have that going. So it must not only be local, because with social media, it's worldwide. So we must make sure that at the end of the month, you be satisfied that this, what we run, this subscription benefit you for this month. After that month, if you like what you see and you want to continue with us, sure, we're going to keep it going. If person is doing products, as I said, because there's a lot of things. People do a lot of products, but they put a lot of Google pictures out, and it don't really represent them. Yeah. And you're showing that when somebody click on your Instagram page, it must talk. It mustn't be just confirm. It mustn't be you just put any and anything out on the Instagram page. The Instagram page is supposed to be telling a story that somebody will be drawn to and say, you know what, I want to use this person for my service, or I want to buy this product from this person. So we want to take people's Instagram and their Facebook page now and create like a story, because you know I'm into the story and the
Yeah.
production, so yes, stuff like that. So that's
So,
yeah.
so in addition to that, you'll also get, depending on what products you have, you'll also get that, you still get that hands-on as well. So we'll go to people and when we interact, when we talk to them, for example, persons who do products, I have over the years built up a relationship so that I have a good relationship with the bigger stores, the Massy, True Value, those kinds of things, so that depending on the product, we can, besides the technological part of it, we also
Yeah.
will go to these places and try to
Okay.
get this. They have all of that in the package that we're going to present to you. So you get both sides of the
Okay.
table
Okay.
if you want from that point of view.
Nice, man. I like it. We had to set up a meeting. No, I'm
Yeah,
serious. We had to, yeah,
No, no
because
problem, no problem.
you
Glad for
see,
that. The more
I
the
think,
merrier.
I think, from again, from the little bit of talking with certain people, I think what is happening in people's minds is trying to rationalize. Okay, when I pay this for that service, how, tangibly, what can I expect to see that tells me, okay, it was worth it to spend the 500 or the 1,000 or whatever. How in people's minds, what could you tell them that could kind of ease that so they understand, hey, it will be worth it. At the end of the month when you look at your returns and stuff, compared to probably what you would have done before having this kind of social media input. What could you say to somebody, to kind of put their mind at ease to say, hey, you need to get this kind of service going?
It puts you in a better position to push your business the next level. Of course, there's only so much we can do. It
Yeah.
relies on you, because if we put you up and people see it and then they come to you and you're not able to impress them, then that's on you. Of course, we could also help it from that point of view.
a real
But
person.
at the end of the day, we will put you on the platform to be seen, to be heard, and when people jump on board, if you wish, we can help you go to the next step too. But if you want to, again, it's up to you to make sure that you put yourself in a position where you can also get them on board and see your business actually financially and physically move from step one to step two to step three to step four.
And then to also to add to that, with my own business, OA Designs, you didn't that one you haven't mentioned as yet. But
You come into that. We
with
come into
OA
that.
Designs, on it I make hair bows. I've been making hair bows a long time now.
We call
And I started
hair bowls.
hair
Oh,
bows,
Oh,
bows.
bows, right, bows. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, I started making that because with my daughter, sometimes you go to Pennywise and you try to find something and there's nothing to match your outfit, or to it might be something at school that she have to do, and you end up making it and you realize you go to the market and there's nothing there, and I said, why not make it and also make it available for other persons and stuff. So this is just one sample. This is the fabric table. So
Okay.
it comes with both
Nice.
clip and
Bring it up to the camera.
folio.
Bring it up to the camera a little closer. Let's see. Oh, lovely. Nice.
Yeah. So I was making that, but I was just telling my friends, my little circle, you do it on a little WhatsApp, you send a message
Yeah.
out, and that was, I wasn't fully utilizing Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. And then, I went and I made a Facebook page and I would post pictures every now and then. Sometimes you make something and you forget and then you post a picture. But because of this whole the COVID situation and realizing that 9 to 5 job is not as secure as you think it is. You have to have something else. I started putting more effort into my online presence, Instagram and my Facebook, and did couple classes. You watch, as one of the past guests said, you look at the YouTube University and you see what people are doing, and you started adding that. And because of doing that, in the last 2 months, from getting maybe 1 or 2 orders to both, I have orders like every week to complete.
Wow, nice.
And persons, like somebody messaged me and said, I want somebody bowls for their workplace. And I was like, what kind of job you doing? And they tell me, and I'm like, do you want bowls for that? And they're like, yes, can you make it? And they tell me, well, I do also do customized bowls, and they tell me what they wanted, and I did it, and they liked it, and they said, in that way, instead of them ordering it from the US, they could just get it from me, because
Okay.
through the COVID, a lot of people
Yes, yeah.
orders taking a long time. But if I didn't have my product up on Facebook and Instagram, they would not have known what I had to offer. They would not have seen it. So that's another way. Once you put it out there, you never know who's going to come across your products or your services, and I will call or send a message. But as Warren said, you have to be willing now to have that conversation and ready. Because plenty of people, when they contact you, they don't want to hear, well, I don't have, and no, they want it one time. So you have to be ready when the calls start coming in.
Yeah. As one guy says, what is not announced, it doesn't exist. If nobody hear about it, well, it ain't happening. It's just not real. It's not there. So you had to be. Now it's a serious thing. Warren, let me jump across by you a little bit. So, paving and construction company. So what level of just for clarity, what level of construction, if I may ask, is it just like domestic, like for your basic dwelling house scenario, or do you go
both commercial and domestic? We do,
okay.
Especially paving aspect of it, we do anything in paving, and quite reasonably priced, right? Because it's just a small company, no need for living profit. Drip, fill the bucket, as they say.
Yeah. Paving, what? You talking about concrete or tar, like pave the road, asphalt and stuff?
Yeah, asphalt paving.
Oh, okay. Alright, how that has been so far? How long that company has been running?
2013. Yeah, 2012, 2013. I stopped for a while because my dad was ill.
Okay.
So I had to cut that for a while, and so it's just something that we just get back into
Right.
in full swing.
Right.
So
No problem.
that's just it's again one of the things. The seed ban is in the same vein. We have done the cause of my dad being ill, and then now
I was just about to ask about that.
we just revamp. Revamping the steel pan manufacturing and the marketing in particular.
All right. I was just about to ask about that, but I forgot to mention this to you guys. To be fair, just as I do with all the other people, the American system, you could plead the fifth if somebody asks you a question and you don't want to answer that, right? So just per chance, I ask something that you ain't quite ready to answer. You could plead the fifth, right? So don't feel awkward. Yeah. But how long you worked at the bank, in the banking sector, Warren?
Wow. Over 10 years.
Wow.
With Royal Bank.
Okay. This might be a plead the fifth question. I don't know. Why you care to share why you made what caused it to shift? Or are you still with them?
No, the shift that is from my father always, because he is the one who started the steel pan. As a matter of fact, the first factory in the world is his.
Say that again. Your signal broke up. Say that again. Your signal broke up just now.
First factory in the world that the world has ever had was his factory.
Okay. What's his name?
Endeavouring Graham.
Okay.
Most men who enter farm will know who is.
Yeah.
He's the person who started the case, the digital tune, and a lot of stuff like that. He just kind of did the back. He was more outside England and outside the world pushing the pan than being home. So he always pushing us, my sister and myself, to do your own business.
Yeah.
So that your younger years is just a gather information to prep yourself for the time when you're actually ready to start your own business. So that, for example, as I said, when I was doing sales, I was doing sales with bigger companies to get that experience.
Yeah.
The banking industry was nice for that experience at the time until I could reach a point where I could do my own thing and get into that.
I want to ask you somebody pan in particular with a little story. Because I know we have a lot of people into pan and we still use the steel drum. Now, a few years back, well, not a few now, more than a decade now. There was a gentleman with a music store. He used to be Upper Frederick Street. I wouldn't call names, but I'm pretty sure you know who that is, right? Me and he were friends. We dealt good. You know, we had a nice thing going. When I go, I would get specials. I'll get nice treatment, whatever. And I remember he told me one year that he went to Sweden. He made a visit to Sweden. And somebody took him to a steel pan factory in Sweden. And he said, unlike us, and I'm talking about nearly 20 something years ago. He said, unlike us, where we were using steel drum, they were using xylophone material. And he said the quality of those pans is only because he was a Trini. He did not import it to sell in his stores. Because, I mean, he's a Trini. He's concerned about his local, he want to see the little black boy get a little thing. But he said quality for quality, the traditional steel drum that we use, it can't talk with, he couldn't talk with them pans. And he was a musician, so he wasn't guessing.
The material is much better. Yeah.
So,
but our problem is that we didn't appreciate the pan as we were supposed to.
I think we still don't. I think we still don't.
Agree. I just didn't want to say that, but I agree. It's the truth, because what sadly what might happen is people, very few of us know how to make a piano. So if you want a piano, you have to order the piano from the people who make the piano.
Correct.
Sadly, because there's a lot of these guys not thinking forward, you find a foreigner will come and say, boy, I'll give you $5,000 to teach me to make a pan.
Yeah. Teach
me everything from the beginning, how to tune everything. This guy is going to think, wow, $5. Yes. This man to make a pan. By the end of 2 weeks, the $5,000 done. This man goes away to his country and starts a factory making millions. You have that vision to appreciate. We should have been, instead of what, I will come up here and make the pants for you. Help me with your factory, but I'm not teaching you to do it for yourself, because then you're going to take my bread out and I'm going to
exactly.
This is what has happened.
Yeah.
So lost the true essence of the pan because of us not being able to appreciate what kind of real gem it actually was. And we've lost it, and now they're trying to scrape and say this and do all kind of crazy stuff like this. This big pan, this architect, this engineer made the other day, and sadly poor Manning went and endorsed it. No sense.
Yeah.
One of the problems with pan is that it's cumbersome. So to make a bigger pan is not going to help the situation in any way. It makes no sense. I'm sure no man has ever used that pan in panorama. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. But that's what has happened. So that now just a few guys try to hold on to it as best they could and make the most of it, but it's too little too late at this point.
You think Pan have a serious future? Based on how things going, based on not in Trinidad.
Not Trinidad. Again, we've lost that China, for example, have the main thing to the Pan that would blow your mind. Sweden is very high up on it. A few other countries, because we didn't captivate it and utilize it as we supposed to.
Yeah.
Like I said, too little.
Yeah.
Because now our panorama will be the best in the world simply because these guys can play. But that's also a dying breed. So very shortly, that's also going to fall by the wayside because we wouldn't have anybody to carry it on.
That sounds serious, boy. Hey, so let me just remind you guys. As I said at the beginning, if you're liking what we hear, what you're hearing, you're liking what you're seeing, you could give us some thumbs up and stuff like that. Like, share, subscribe, the full works, and just let people know what's happening. Because at the end of the day, remember, Red is about education, inspiration, motivation. So we hope to inspire somebody by what we do. If you listen to the guests that we have, they're very inspiring in themselves. You listen to their stories. There are a lot of stuff you could learn. I literally feel like I'm in school here every time we do an episode of Reddit for the last few weeks, because every guest come on, I hear something new and something different that I learn. So this is what it's all about. So let me get back to Oretta and Warren. So let me talk about OA designs a little bit, because let me just show the viewers quick. So if you're interested, this is Oretta's Facebook page, OA Productions. So go check it out and see we have our nice little red poster there. So she posted it out, ting, the advertising. But there's a Facebook page, and then of course we have OA Productions. This is OA Love Creation. So we have OA Productions on Instagram, and this is OA Love Creation, which we want to talk about a little bit. OA, and interestingly, I was just saying OA Creations, but I missed the whole love inside there, and that says plenty, because in Trinidad we like, in the West Indies generally, we like to talk about for instance, when people cook, we say they put plenty love in the food, so it tastes different. So I'm guessing because there's love in the creations, it has an extra little than just everybody else's. I just said. Hey, we have some comments. Let me just take some comments. We have some comments coming in from here. This is from Daniel. Not even help them with their factory. Hear what? He'll build the pants for you and you could resell it. That's along the lines of what you were talking, Graham. He said, don't even help them with the factory. Build it for them. So let them buy it from you at a wholesale price or some kind of thing. You understand?
That makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Exactly. We don't appreciate. Yeah, he says we don't appreciate what is ours. And the thing is, this not only oh gosh, good. You know when I word right there and it want to come out and it just
stick it.
Yeah, boy. But that comment that Kevin is saying, it doesn't only pertain to pan, but we have a problem with that generally in Trinidad.
Yeah.
From church, from all different walks, we just have a problem accepting what is ours. I know of stories, for instance, let me just give this one. I know of stories. There's one particular story I heard, for instance. A guy did a recording in Trinidad and shared it with his friends, and other people tried to put it on the local stores and stuff. They didn't like it. He sent it to Barbados, re-imported it from Barbados, and it sells. Because it come from Barbados. The same local thing, You didn't want it all the time, but now that it's coming into Trinidad from Barbados, all of a sudden it's good.
Yeah, and foreign, so it's better.
Yeah, that's a serious problem we have. I see that there's a comment coming in here from Rachel G. Naptet, where's Naptet? Oh, right, National Petroleum. National Petroleum actually shared producing drums. Actually started. Yes, right. Producing drums, especially for the production of steel pans in 2009. Look at that. Education again.
And they stopped.
Thank you,
For no
Rachel
reason.
G. Yeah.
Yes, it's quite right. And they stopped it for no reason.
Way. Nah, boy. I seen our next
And
comment
drums
from a
were
boy.
good.
Our next comment here from Daniel. There was a Japanese contingent here broadcasting our panorama in 8K and surround. Yes, I am aware of these. Yoshi and those guys. In fact, for quite a while they were doing it. And that's interesting. That was very interesting. I don't know what. Let me get back on. We get back to because we was going to talk about the love creations. I have a couple questions in my mind, but let me get back to the love creations first. So you talk about the bows. You make things like tote bags, zip bags, pencil cases, bracelets, bottle craft. What is a bottle craft? What do you mean by bottle craft?
So with a lot of people drink wine here in Trinidad. So I had a friend who he and his wife used to drink a lot of wine, and then he would take it and discard the wine bottles, and So after a while, I did some research, and I realized I saw on YouTube and Pinterest that you could spray paint it and you could wrap it and stuff like that. So if I think on my Facebook page, you're gonna see me wrapping. I wrap some of the wine bottles. So you could use it for decorations in your home, in your office, in your kitchen. This is one that I spray painted. Well, this is actually a ketchup Bobby bottle.
Yeah.
It was one of those bottles. So I spray painted it. This is another one. So you add your little design to it, kind of thing.
Right.
So and I went to Tobago, and I saw that a lot of persons would use it for decorations. So I started making it and offering it, for decorations, for weddings, anything that you want to use it for. So I kind of recycle. I like to recycle. So I take the wine bottles from anybody that have wine bottles, and I would wash them and do different things with them.
Interestingly, it didn't click. Bottle craft. Now that you started explaining, we used to do that all in Sunday school. And I remember one of the things we used to do, well, at least where I remember, we used to take masking tape, tear a little piece of masking tape and stick it all over the bottle, and then use polish and polish the bottle. So it used to get like a chipwood kind of look. And then you varnish it. And we used to make lamp with that. So you get the bottle now looks like a wooden kind of base, or sometimes we would run the tape in strips, so it looked like strip wood kind of thing, and then polish it, brown or dark brown or black or whatever, and then varnish that, and then you put the fixture on top of the lamp and all that kind of drama. See, look at that. So you bring back some memories there. You see, I ain't too old.
Yeah. Bring back the old time.
Yeah, boy. No, we really need to get that. All right, so let me bring it home because we're coming up to the top of the hour. So Oretta, we didn't find out before you started OA Productions and all them different kind of things. What you used to do?
Well, before I came to Trinidad, while I was in Guyana, I was a teacher. So I taught high school. I taught Form 1 and 3 and 5. I did Principles of Business, English Language, and English Literature. And after I got my daughter, I left teaching and I started working at Digital Guyana. I was a customer service rep, and then I became a quality assurance trainer. So I ended up being one of the persons who would train the persons coming into digital. So in digital, I worked in different areas. I was customer service for regular, then I did postpaid plans, and then I was to help out in the marketing, and then I became a trainer. And then I left. When I left Digicel, I came to Trinidad and went to UWI, and I did the practitioner certificate in drama and theatre education. And with that, I did many things because, being a foreigner in Trinidad and trying to set up yourself and so forth. So at that time, I also did work with Mr. Norman Fullerton, with his group, his theatre company, and that's how I got into doing judging for Best Village, and different things. Did some work with Theatre Workshop. Before Freetown became big as Freetown, when they were Freetown Collective, I did work with them. I also did a little work with Mr. Errol Fabian. Actually, with Errol, we did a pilot.
Story time with Auntie Retta.
Yes, Auntie Retta from Guyana.
Yeah,
story time. Because I was big into doing the story time at that time. So we actually did a pilot video, and I tried to get sponsors and stuff like that. And then I think during that time, Kyle ended up moving from St. James and to his home, and all these different things happened. So that show never came off, but it's still something that happened because now we have Red TV. And I used to do story with Darian on I-95. I don't know with most persons. I used to go and do a reading. Story reading on I-95 with Darian. So, I still do all my little theater and story things, and that is how with Way Productions, with outside of the theater aspect, we also do weddings and events because the coordinating. So anybody getting married and they need a coordinator for that day. You want your family members and everybody to enjoy yourself. This is a shameless plug. You can contact me. I like working with weddings and events, and some of my pages. I did a lot of couple weddings or bouquets. For my wedding, I did our bouquets and everything like that. So Way Productions have all of that. As it says, everything now is going to soon be under My Girl Industries.
Okay, good. This, as you talk about Best Village, I want to chuck a little answerness here. No. If I am off, feel free to tell me, nah, Eric, you're going off with that. That is crazy or whatever. And Warren, I would like to get your take on it too. Now, I have a little beef with Best Village. Now, I grew up on Best Village, and that's part of the problem. I am 55 years old this year. As far as I can remember, Best Village had the same look, same context from since I was a little boy to now. But the village changed. Now I understand it's a folk something. You go back in time to show how life was, blah 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 blah. But then 50 years passed between then and now. So next 50 years, are we going to be still showing Best Village in that era? You follow what I'm saying? The village like it never changed. So from since I was a little boy to now I'm a grown man with children, what you are telling me how the village used to be, it's why only showcase it in that era, if you follow what I'm saying? It is always within a particular era that Best Village is set. Let's just call it let's say 1950s. So since I'm small, it's about the 1950s. Now I am in my 50s. It is still about the 1950s. But so much is as if the village concept never changed. So I'm wondering if 100 years from now, if they're still going to be showing Best Village as in the 1950s. You follow what I'm saying? Well, I don't know what you think about it. What you think about that?
Well, for me, with Best Village, as I tell people, I'm an outsider because I'm not Trinidadian. But at the same time, I think it's something that has been in discussion for a long time, especially I know with Mr. Fullerton and now with Mr. Keon Francis as the head. You're trying to bring a modern twist to the village. And I think most times what happens is that yes, the young people will give an idea of what they would like to do and what should be done in order to get more people into looking at Best Village and enjoying it. But the older heads who make the final decision somehow like to see Best Village that way. So I know they've added to my section. I know they've added spoken word to the literary aspect of it. So you're allowing that part of the literary arts to be improved. The concept of the theater production. I think some groups have added a twist and tried to make it modern, but as we keep saying, for Best Village, everybody, the ones who making the final decisions and the ones who giving the decisions have to come together to have a good conversation, make a decision, and as you say, bring it up to a standard where everybody will want to come and see the village. Because if you remember my discussion, we were saying that I have some people who don't even know Best Village still happening.
Yeah.
They don't even know that this thing's still going on. And for the young people, they're not getting that involved in Best Village, or if they do, they might do it for a year or two, but they're not continuing because Best Village has not offered them anything to add to their, what you would say, their portfolio, their educational portfolio. Because that's what I was saying. If I'm doing Best Village from age 8, or some people younger, age 6 to 18, must give me some credits or something for me to go to UTT and go to UE or something like that. So all these different aspects, as you say, need to be looked at and discussed with Best Village. Because it's a really good show. It's a show that a lot of, you don't, Trinidadians again, we will say, do not appreciate what they have. When you go to a Best Village and you see those children perform and you see those groups get together with the drumology and the dance and everything, it is a great production. But sadly, a lot of people don't come and they don't appreciate it, and then what happens? Nothing happens again until the next Best Village. And look, this year with COVID, no Best Village.
Yeah.
One of the things I feel as well in the problem again is advertising, because as you rightly said, if I've been watching Best Village since I'm 5, and when I reach 25, it's the same thing that I saw when I was 5. When I'm 30, I'm going to watch it again because it's the same thing. I've already seen that.
Exactly.
The same thing, that.
Exactly.
But if you can, as Loretta said, get the heads, the power that be to shit, hey, we need to step it up a bit. And then do the advertising that shows, hey, this has been stepped up. Then people are going to be intrigued.
Yeah.
But if you want to tell me we have Village in the center, come and watch it. I've seen Best Village 10 years, the same thing. I've been sent to the board. Yeah. You want to say, like, before the good step. But once you're able to allow the older because as I just said, that many times is the problem. The older ones don't want to change. And that's what it was since I know it and I wanted to change. But it has, as we progress, it has to progress. And when it progresses, the advertisers follow now to encourage people to come and see it because it has progressed. So those two things need to marry for it to be able to reach a point where persons want to come and watch a show. Because we're not that kind of people generally. In the other countries, they go to opera shows and they go to ballets, and we don't have that. So we're not that type of people. But if you get the right advertising, and then as you say, the right heads to appreciate, you need to make some adjustments, it can become something that is a force to reckon with.
Yeah. And so many things have changed.
Go ahead.
And the dance has, so even if I'm doing a front dance that can put in some form of modern thing into it and a local and all these things. And as you say, it could be the costuming, it could be so many things that you could change. And again, it's for the groups from the village, the mentorship, the leaders.
Yeah.
Listen to the young people and see what is happening on the road and see how we could twist it and make it our own and add it into the best village. So, again, it comes down to having the conversation, the training, and putting in the work and understanding. Yes, we're not saying get rid of our tradition, but at the same
Exactly.
time, add it to the modern, add the traditions with the modern, add some new things to it.
I learned a lot from Best Village. I'm afraid to say it, I learned a lot from watching Best Village. But I just find that transition needs to happen. I think it's the same. It's the same. We kind of digress a little bit, right? But that's right. I think it's the same issue that really going on with Calypso, because we had the issue with the young people and not getting involved in Calypso, and again, probably because of the same reason. I have a guy. I'm doing a video right now with a guy, and at the heart of his music is a soca rhythm. But on top of it, he has strings and other non-traditional Calypso stuff happening. And people want to dog him for it. That's not Calypso. That's not soca. That thing. But who says that you can't have a violin in a soca, for instance? Why? Because it traditionally wasn't so. But why it can't progress to the point that now we could include clarinet, we include violin, we include all kind of different things. But when you listen to the music, the root of the music is the basic Calypso or soca rhythm. But you have other things built on top of it. But so I think, when you listen to the typical tent Calypso, again, it has that tick-ting-ki-ting-in, tick-ting-ki-ting-in. How much young people seriously want to listen to that? And you're telling about the commentary. They're not. It's not just about the commentary. The fact that you had the music has a part to play with it. So, you understand? You had to give them the ability to. I don't know if I just kind of think. I remember when, I don't know if you all know, when my brother sang, he won Young King, Bungie.
Yeah.
Remember the tune? He sang, the tune was something about accent. Leave me alone with my accent. Now at that point, he had won an accent in some other competition, and he used that as a he just play with his words. But he was talking that time. He was heavy with his Jamaican kind of twang, and people was he's a Trinidadian and he come with this Jamaican thing in the music and So he did this song that he entered the Young King with. Leave me alone with my accent, right? And he talked about how he driving around with his accent and how his accent has been taken in places, and he ended up winning jointly with he and Ricky Jai tied for first.
Yeah, Ricky Jai.
Right, but again, he came with his own little. It was commentary, but he put his flavor. But because it wasn't the traditional type, people felt he shouldn't win. You understand? Because it didn't have that traditional Calypso kind of music behind it, So I don't know.
But you see, that's why we have to, as a Caribbean people, sometimes we have to change, because you might do it here in Trinidad and they don't like it, but you take it outside of Trinidad and people fall in love with it and they like it.
Reggae
and
music.
Then all of a sudden, Trinidadian, we want to like it as we own.
Reggae music.
Because I was listening to John Legend. I don't know if you heard John Legend's new album. John Legend did a song. And now for his mix, he went with some Spanish guys.
Okay.
And he did that mix with John Legend, actually do it with Spanish and all sort of thing. And he did a nice live interview with them. He have never seen them. They just did that music that collab together.
Right.
But the song is really nice. If you don't understand Spanish, you don't know where you're singing, but you're swaying and you're going because it sounds good. We could do our same thing with our music.
Yeah.
Here in Trinidad, you have Spanish, you have everything. Mix it together and it fuse everything together. So it will be something that, as we said, is the young people's turn come in. They are the ones who are going to take over. They're, as we always say, the leaders of tomorrow. So give them that opportunity so that when we step back, they will still keep pushing Calypso and they'll still keep pushing Best Village and they're gonna still keep pushing all the traditional things that we upon. But it will be with a twist.
Yeah.
Nothing remains the same. Language has changed. Remember before you used to thou and die and stuff. Now you
Yeah.
have new words
Exactly.
added to the dictionary every day. And before look longer, we used to write with pictures. Now on WhatsApp, you could send a whole sentence with emojis that the
Yeah.
young people alone understand. You know,
Yeah.
so it changed. So we have to change with them, but still add a nice tradition. So we remember what it used to be, and long ago, storytelling was on that tree. Now storytelling is done in a theater. Now you can do storytelling online. So things changing.
Same thing with business. Go ahead, Warren. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But I really want to say, so maybe as along the same time,
Now you go ahead, now, man. You, you go
oh,
ahead.
in addition to that, you find that the government does not support that as it's supposed to. For example, we want to get everybody before COVID, of course, we want to get tourists here. What the government decided to do? Build big buildings. As a foreigner, you cannot impress me with a big building that is a skyscraper.
Yeah.
You cannot impress me with that. So
Yeah.
that's not what I'm coming in. But if I'm coming to do business, I come to do business based on whatever materials I want. So whether for me in a big building, you can hire to you can someone, but then I'm going to be here to do business. That's
Yeah.
a financial run. If you want to get a tourist, most of the tourists who pay money go to Tobago
True.
because they get in to see the beach. They get in to eat a coconut in the hand, let the coconut water run down the hand and take the picture and show their friend who was there. They get in to run barefoot in the place, run around in the bikini and all that kind of thing because that's what they want.
Yeah.
The powers that be, again, where the government's supposed to, instead of putting $50 million into building a big building and end up just wasting because it's most times you don't use it as it's supposed to, take $3 million and put it towards the arts and the culture. And you're going to keep tourists coming because that's what they come for. As an American, I am not coming here to watch no 20-story building when I have a building that's 150 feet tall. That makes no sense to me. You can't impress me with that. But I want to see a man squeeze out some cane juice out of that sugar cane and drink it. Wow. I want to eat a mango and see the mango just running down my hand and that kind of thing. I want to see the people selling on the side, put the money in the things that are going to encourage people to come. If you look at Barbados, that is a tourist oriented place. They don't go to the big buildings, The building they have are well done because of course you have to be up to a certain standard. But they basically push the locals.
Yeah.
Get that local. That's what people go there for. So if you push it that, then you're gonna find a big change. But many times a lot of people, if you go to Best Village, the steel pan organization, where they're gonna say, oh boy, we ain't getting any money to do this, we ain't getting any money to do that. Of course, sadly some of them keeping the money, but we don't get into that. But they're not getting the funding to support them. So that we're gonna get stalemated. And as you say, you're going to get a Best Village production from 20 years ago today, which everybody find about.
And the same thing, don't want to cut you out. The same
No,
thing
you go ahead,
Warren is.
Yeah.
The same thing with Warren is saying, take that money and invest. I don't know if you heard about the woman. This is a plug for her. But we want to find her, the woman who's doing the curry ice cream. That can become another Trinidad product.
I plan to bring on.
Instead of you taking the money and go and bring stuff and bring all the foreign things, the money and invest in local people who make stuff, which will be far better. Because if I go to the US, I need to go and see Starbucks and McDonald's and all these places. I don't want to see that here in my country. I mean, it's a, people might say, oh, you want Trinidad stay like a like tradition. It's not that you want to stay tradition. You just want that support for your local people, because these, as we talking entrepreneurs, she actually sat down and sit down and think of how to make it. And we laughing about it because sometimes I'm Warren talking at me and we ask him where you want to eat. He use the curry ice cream. Now I could actually go and say, yeah, buy curry ice cream because somebody has made it. You understand?
True.
If somebody making curry snake and them kind of thing, let me know too, because there's something he's something. Yeah.
Serious? I'll hook up with a partner. I'll hook you up.
Yeah.
You
know, so imagine if somebody invests in that woman who making the curry ice cream and stuff. Tourists now will come and say, I come into Trinidad for doubles and curry ice.
Yeah.
Not to go to Popeyes and Starbucks and McDonald's that they eating over there much cheaper than what they eating it.
Thank you very much. That next long story by itself. Yeah.
Yeah, because I have a friend at work who say the world is becoming big in the sense of I leaving my country to come to go to another country on vacation to see the same thing. That making no sense. That's why people leave and go to Dubai and go to Bali and go to all these places because they enjoying the huts and the river and the beaches and riding on an elephant and all these kind of things. You come to Trinidad to sit down in traffic. That's your custom in the US, sitting down in traffic.
Yeah.
You know, as I say, but why now? I mean, I'm doing a controversial on your show. But why by now we don't have a bridge or a road from Trinidad to Tobago? We have all these engineers that keep coming out of UE every single year. You can't tell me somebody can come together and say that we build a bridge or something between Trinidad and Tobago. And as we always say, you're building Toco, you're building up Toco, then you're going to build up Charlottesville, and we have the industry and the two countries fused together, and you have your tourism and stuff like that. Because from August, again, July, August, I mean, now with COVID, it might be different, but you have to fight to get a boat ticket to go across to Tobago.
Yeah.
When Tobago riding.
It is crazy. They call this place Trinidad. So I'll get to the lady with the ice cream is actually a colleague of mine, an associate of mine. This is Delaney Gray. Daniel said, you found her? Yeah, she's on Facebook. Daniel is a personal friend of Daniel's as well. So yeah, she's easy to find, man. Don't frighten, we could link you up.
Yeah,
but I have. Let me tell you, the only reason that she don't get more business from me is because of how far her business is. But I taste some of that lady ice cream. I bought about 6 buckets one time.
Serious?
What? She had some 2-liter containers. I buy 6. Different. I said, nah, this thing can't be. No, the ice cream. The woman is a boss.
But nobody will know because they ain't paying no money. That they can't make money off of the credit cards.
Yeah. We have another friend. I given him a plug too. He's make
plug man.
What he called authentic pizza. But his pizza is not the usual pizza. It's he does it on whole, right?
Yeah.
Whole wheat, and it is done with different mixtures. So you're going to get your regular pineapple and things. It's different.
You can actually get pizza with pimento dough. So he doing the dough with pimentos and that kind of thing. Works
Yeah, Worth Bakery and
Worth
Authentic.
Bakery.
Wheat pizza says whole
Local
wheat.
stuff.
Okay.
And then he have the bread. He does have bread with cheese and pine baked inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas you could just eat that jersey with nothing on
No,
that.
I'd get you on. I'd get you on red. We had to do a live session or
Ice
something.
cream. This man did a cheese ice
Cheese
cream.
ice cream, man.
A cheese ice cream. So all these people that we talk, all these people who we want to market and get them out there so locals will know that have people, entrepreneurs
Local.
making
You know,
stuff. They will stop buying from all these foreign people.
you know, during the COVID, well, when in the height of the thing, the government decided to give a business grant. You know, I have a problem with that. Now, whoever successful, I'm glad for them. Make it happen. Here's the problem I have with that grant. You had to be making X amount of money to qualify for the grant. Now, you have a business, eh? You have a bona fide business. You could show you have a business. It's registered. It is operational for how much months, how much years. But you're not making the kind of profits. And I can't remember the figure, but it's some big money that you had to be making to qualify for a loan of about 300,000 or 350,000. And I'm saying, all right, no problem. But what about helping the other man who not making as much, but still making something? They're still contributing to society the same way. How come you leave out a whole section?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You understand? The man who probably his business probably making like maybe a 15,000-20,000 intake a month, but maybe if he get 100,000 investment as a loan or 50,000, he might be able to upscale to where he bring in 50,000 a month. But you consider you just consider the person doing 1.2 million a year to qualify for it. Nah, I mean, so I understand what you guys saying.
Very true.
Yeah. So that is not really small business. You're not really. That is not really the small man you're talking about. You're just encouraging people who are already making money. You have to do this small man. You have to do people who, like here, we live in La Hocketa.
Yeah.
And there's a guy right now. I guess because we're marketing everybody right now. But there's a young man right now. We watch and admire this young man. Because not because he's living in an area people consider bad, meaning that's bad. This guy, on the main road, and most people might know it, he has an ice cream shop now.
Yeah.
Before it was a little cart, he come out and he screamed. The man realized that, wait a minute, he save up, he do a nice little hot shop kind of thing. Then he started adding flavors and bringing new flavors. When next thing you know, he and his wife come together, they sit down, he decided he's doing a little gyro. And then from the gyro, he's doing soup. He's doing soup now on a Sunday.
Okay.
So this is a young man. He will not be able to qualify for that grant.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he has a small business that is benefiting himself and his small family and his community. So
yeah. Well, I see Daniel just said that the lady, the ice cream chef is actually her business name. He said she has a post in her email. Well, look, music to my ears, Daniel Bay. Thank you very much. I didn't know that. I did not know that. Well, no, she did. Because I tell you, I love. No. Listen. I'll tell you about me. I am not easily impressed. Let me put it this way. And I'm not impressed with the things that usually impress most people. So, for instance, you're talking food. Me, I am. What's the word I want to use?
Flabbergasted.
Yeah, with a corned beef and rice. That's me. When somebody had to be steak, it had to be a Ruby Tuesday something, it had to be thing. You give me a properly cooked corned beef and rice, and I will enjoy that just as much. I real simple, and I love my local things. And I mean, and I'm not saying that just to appear patriotic. I really love my local stuff. I love local dishes. I love a basic stew with a white rice and maybe a little callaloo or peas on the side. I will savor that down to the last. I ain't bound for cheesecake and all of after. Me bound for all of that. You understand? So when I heard Delaney doing ice cream with the traditional local stuff, different fruit and all that, I said that is home for me. You understand? I ain't bound to buy no flavor right and Häagen-Dazs and all that. Nah, give me ice cream chef boy.
But the same thing, if we look at it, because this guy we now telling you about, Bert, he has garlic, ginger, and lemongrass ice cream.
But look at that.
If you think about it, say let's be mature and thing. Yes, people may want a little foreign thing, but if you support the local, this lady using curry, which is made here, and you have garlic and ginger and lemongrass, everything you're growing here.
Thank you.
Then the economy here will grow. Instead of we buying foreign and sending the US, taking it and selling it outside, let we put the money inside because everything could grow right here.
Yeah.
We can make everything right here.
Yep.
So the economy will grow because as we know, the oil makes no sense.
Yeah.
And as people saying, Ghana getting oil just now to Ghana. That oil don't come undone. But we have to think about it. Look, during this COVID, if you check Facebook, the amount of people who doing kitchen garden right now is amazing.
Yeah.
You couldn't even get some of those people before to do a kitchen garden. Everybody excited. They're reaping the okra, the hot pepper.
Yeah. And they're the children right there with them too.
But this is what our older heads have been encouraging years ago. I remember in Guyana, well, I'm young, but in Guyana, that is how they was given house lot. 2 lots. One for your house and one for kitchen garden. So I grew up mining. My grandfather had cows. We had sapodilla tree. We had coconut, cherry, banana. Everything you want was in our yard. So the only thing you used to go to the market to buy was fish, was your meat. You understand? But you're supporting every little garden. So now, with COVID, look how many persons lost their job. If you were supporting local and everything, even if I can't go to the factory, there are people who can go and pick the peppers, the pimentos, and they go pick the coconut water, the coconut for the coconut water, and they're gonna pick all these things. And we would have still have an economy running because we would have still have jobs. It would have been less jobs would have been affected by the COVID.
You know, as I said, a couple of weeks ago, I was doing a video. I was doing some work with, Dr. Nan Gadsby Dolly for election stuff now. So you're talking to one of our former campaign managers. As you talk about, how we grew up and what the grandparents used to encourage and so on. I remember this guy told us a story. He said he remembers as a little boy, his grandmother putting him to sit next to a hen to wait. And when the hen laid the egg, he used to take that egg and carry it by the neighbor to get 2 bread. But you understand? But it ties in exactly with what we're saying, and maybe that's something that we lost that probably need to come back. Because that had a kind of unifying effect about it and keeping people close.
Yep.
You're saying something, Warren? Go ahead.
No, I was saying probably it's something that needs to come back in truth because, as you say, gender that village feel where everybody look out for one another as opposed to I fighting you, you fighting me, I want to have this, you want to have that. So I just agree with what he was saying there.
Yeah. Let me just drop something here quick. That was a comment from a good friend of mine. She also works with me as a producer. Mel. She said she have kale and all that kind of stuff, and she have cucumber too. You understand, in the backyard. Again, something I love very much, cucumber. Listen, I will sit down with a little bit of salt and eat out about a bag of cucumber. Just so. Just salt and pepper. Just so, cucumber. But let me just chuck a little plug here. So guys, if you're looking on, watch this. Jump on. They're on Facebook. They're on IG. They're on YouTube. They had a bang yesterday. Big launch with the evening show. Check out these ladies, Mel Kujo, Melina De Silva, and Rachel Cowie Clark. We're expecting to have them here sometime on Red as guests talking about their show. But again, back to the same idea about local. I will push these girls because they're local. They're my people. You understand? And that's the whole thing with all of this, you know. This is an avenue I could help my people. I could help promote my people. I could help push. And like one of my guys, Ashton, says in his tagline, he says, "We grow when you grow." So if I can help,
Warren,
go ahead. Yeah.
no, but as Warren said, once we have people like us who willing to help and will help.
Yeah.
So the people who producing and have to be ready for the help.
Correct.
Because remember, we met a girl who makes wine. If you taste her wine,
Yeah.
real boss wine.
Yeah.
But again, wasn't ready for the production and the amount that was going to come.
Yeah.
So that's why we want, again, that's why we want to do it with my girl. It's not just a market, but it's to help you so that your production can stay alive. Because if you get into any supermarket, you have to be able to make as many orders and as quickly as possible, because the fast it come off the shelves, it has to go on back on the shelf.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know if you saw, there's these guys, they calling them they do curry duck where they doing food in a bag now.
What?
You're just reheating it. Yes, I saw it on Facebook. You're just reheating everything in the bag. They vacuum the bag, and you're now just reheating it and putting it on your plate. You get, I think you have curry duck. You get sweet and sour chicken or pork and these different things.
Yeah.
So you have people coming up with the ideas and the stuff. These are the small businesses that we should be pushing instead of trying to bring a major line into the country. All these people should have, the little things. Because I don't know if you look at what we like is how Eddie Hart, you have all these nice little things you go. So you don't have to go all the way down to Savannah. No, you could go right at Eddie Hart. So now it's just for somebody to bring one in Arima now too.
Yeah.
Because you have different people that you meet. We meet a girl who make a fully loaded hot dog, but this thing wrap up with bacon and pine and thing. Again, a young woman, maybe a single mother, she's trying to do something, making something yourself. These are the small businesses that we should be encouraging.
Yeah.
Another thing I just want to add to that as well, especially for those cottage industries that want to get into the supermarkets and the stores. And again, this is where the government can help as well. Food and Drug Career approval is fundamental. Especially now, those supermarkets would and stores will take your product as good as it might be without that food and drug approval.
Yeah.
So that, again, if the government can either give a loan or do something to help persons in try. Because you see, when you go to food and drug, for example, somebody who now starting off, as we were saying, they might not be making the millions, they're making a little 5,000, 10,000, taking care of the family.
Yeah.
So it's hard to put out $3,000 to get anything approved, and then help come and say you have to put stainless steel is that they're costing $50,000.
Yeah.
Hotel. So there needs to be some kind again of marrying where the government can come with these people and show them, all right, this so it is. If you need this, we can help you with this, or we can give you a loan to this effect, but you must pay it back or else. So that they're able to push their business to the next level. Because without that, you just stay stagnated.
True,
but you can go so much further.
True.
Of course, the responsibility also on the vendors to pay their loan.
Correct.
So that other people can benefit. So it's
Correct.
a twofold thing.
Correct.
But those are the things that we need to see happen so that the country in itself can grow.
Yeah. You know what has impressed me when I say impress. Like when I travel, I am not moved by big hotels. You know, if you put me up in a hotel, all right, I in a hotel, no problem. Whatever the hotel name, you know, whatever they give me to eat, all right, no problem. But if you give me a choice, I want a nice little cottage, something, somewhere, a little guest house thing, a small little room where I have my own little key. I could come go when I want. I could, have a little stove. I could cook my thing when I want. Even if it's a bed and breakfast, you're serving thing. You give me,
clean.
Yeah, basic. Yeah. And not that I do enjoy a steak or a lobster or whatever, of course.
Yeah.
But I'm not impressed by that.
Not every day.
Yeah, son. Yeah, you understand?
Every time I go, I'm going to look for something by the people and see what they have for
yes. If I go to Bago, I looking for, a real homey looking. I'm not. I'm sorry, you guys, if you're hearing this. I'm not impressed by staying in Magdalena. All right, you put me in Magdalena, no problem. I get Mongovin, no problem.
Yeah.
But where I will really enjoy my stay, a little cottage somewhere down by Strawberry. You know, where somebody have about 2-3 rooms in the house. I have my little room in my corner, my bed, comfortable. That is it for me. You know, I don't miss the other things. Yeah.
And as a tourist, you come to enjoy the place.
Of course.
Come to stay up in your room. So if I have a nice bed, I could get a nice hot shower when I come home, and I could lie down and sit comfortable like good. But look, we went to Bago and we found the lady. Sadly, she don't have a name, but boy, we found this girl, this pillow. I mean, I'm not a big pillow lover, but this pillow. And I told her when we reached the coleslaw had finished. I said, okay, don't worry, the coleslaw, give me the mango. Boy, Eric, every day I go to Tobago, every day in Tobago, I want the woman pillow, one mango. It was amazing. It tasted really good. Again, a single woman, and she had her child there with her, a nice small shop and a nice setup. That is what the tourists will want. They want where I go and I went and I eat pillau. I remember I listened to an interview from one of these TV personnel came down to Trinidad for Carnival, and she was talking about Carnival was nice and stuff. But she was talking about where she went and lime. She like lime on the street and things. That was what was amazing to her. And what she ended, not the come and stay at Hyatt.
Yeah.
She didn't talk about staying at Hyatt. She talked about going on the street and lime and mingle with the people and she eat doubles and them kind of things. That is what we need to understand as Caribbean.
Yeah.
The outside world coming for the Caribbean flavor. That's why Jamaica's always, when you ask anybody, it's a Caribbean, it's a Jamaica. Because they go Jamaica, they get in the beef, the coconut, everything is still authentic.
Yeah. Hey, guys, we got to do a part 2.
I was about to say the same thing. Even look at Carnival as an example.
Yeah.
When people come for Carnival, they don't care about where they stay. No?
Exactly.
That's
not what they're coming for. They're not coming for stay.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I can go back Friday.
Yeah.
That's what it is for tourists.
Right. We got to do a part 2 of this. We are relating to talk still. We have to do a part 2. Because we
launched Migrant Industries and Red TT.
Yeah, we had to talk, I think, because we bought in 2 hours already. It's 6:40 now.
Wow.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, and we talk very nice. So let me just say a quick thank you to the viewers who logged on so far. We had comments coming from people like Daniel Atherton, Melko Joe. Thanks guys for popping in. Farid, Rachel G. You know, small crowd today, but very active. Some nice, some interesting comments coming. Daniel, thanks for that tip with Delaney. With that place in Arima, well, you had to give me more info because I need to know where to find that. And by the way, Oretta and Warren is also from up in the east. So you know,
Yes.
we're gonna mash up the ice cream chef. You understand? And all you need to tell me now more about this curry bag business because we are a family, we love our curry. In fact, lunch today was roti.
Yeah,
Right up the hill. Yeah.
Was something that came up on the on Facebook, but I saw the video and the guy was talking about they vacuum so the food well cooked and everything, and you just reheat that in a pot and
Boy.
you get food.
I want to know more about that. I love the curry. So we can talk about that. So let me bring it home. I have two very important. Well, one really as a question, and the other one is some comments I want you to make. So at the end of the day, remember this is about endeavoring entrepreneurs, about entrepreneurship. So you guys definitely fit the bill. You have walked the road. You've been walking the road for a while. You're handling your business. You know, you have your different businesses happening and so on, things working out. Here's my golden question, and I'm asking every guest this for every show. If the job that you had was paying you the kind of salary that would have allowed you to do the things you're doing now, you could travel the way you want, you could fix your family nice, you're living comfortable, you have the kind of house, the kind of vehicle you want, you're eating what you want, you're not worried, you're not begging, you think, you know, you could help people. If the job that you had was allowing you to do that with what they were paying you, would you still have gone on to set up the businesses that you have today?
For me, it would be yes.
And the answer and the question would be why? Yeah, go ahead.
Because I love to do my own thing. I think my mother would always say I was an own way child. And working for people is nice, but there's so much you could do because you're always in a box. You can't take vacation when you want. And what you say you're doing is that you're building their empire. You're not building your own. And as parents, you know, I have my daughter to think about and maybe future children, and as a guest had said before, grandchildren to think about. So that if they're to benefit, it's always good to have your own thing for your family to benefit. So even if you build it and you don't, it is always good to say that, you know, my grandmother and my mother did this. And it's a form of, for me with my business, it's a form of showing my daughter how to be independent, how to be determined, how to overcome challenges, how to keep stepping forward and stepping forward. So with the different things that I do and I make, I also enjoy the feeling of when I do a production. I know you've seen a couple of my production, but when I do a word summer live and I walk the crowd and I hear people saying, boy, this show was real nice, and they enjoy it, and I the next one I bring in my family. That is what brings me the joy and satisfaction that I was able to provide an evening that families were able to enjoy, and that the performers were able to give their best and to enjoy themselves on stage. Because when you go on stage, is also whereby you're opening up yourself and you're very what I should say, you're allowing yourself to be judged by an audience. So you're putting your whole self on stage. But when an artist comes and says, whoo, I love that crowd, I had a really good time, that brings me and makes me emotional for me to continue doing it again. That's what I enjoy. So I would always choose doing my own thing over working with somebody. I mean, working with people, you get the experience, you do it part-time, you love it, you think, and you move on.
All right, Warren, your take.
For myself, yeah, same thing. I would really say in my instance, it's different because to my father, I always encourage my sister and myself to do that. So that I was listening to a meeting we had yesterday, and they were saying one of these speakers said that skill and joy tend to marinate with one another. Because if you like doing something, you're going to do it to the best of your ability, and hence your skill level is going to increase. In tandem, your joy will increase. That's just how it goes. So that you find, for myself, in the case of football, I love football with a passion.
Yeah.
And so it helped me to be as good as many could be. In the same way with business, I love doing things that might, as I just said, you do something and you see somebody show appreciation for it, fantastic. There is, of course, the element of, which is why you find a lot of people don't go into doing entrepreneurship, that comfort zone. I need to make sure that when I can pay my rent, I can get food, I can do something else. With a set job, 8 to 4, that more or less booked. The risk of doing entrepreneurship is that this month might not be as good as last month. But the thing about it is that a month after that could be the best month you had for however long you could commit it for years. So I like that flexibility. Thankfully, it's worked out pretty well with Oretta here, because another thing that helps is that encouragement. But if you have somebody who's not a business-minded person, when you crash the first time, you see that ship, but it's telling you not to do that to do. But if you have somebody sitting in the paddock, that's what it is. We'll rally, we're going next month, no better, we're going again. You're able to continue. And you see she's smiling, so I'm in good grace with you. So you find that helps a lot for me wanting to say yes, because it's a forward frustrated. I can't stay long in a place too long. That's why I have to leave the bank after a while, because they keep paging me. Because I always all over the place doing all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like saying no one place. And persons like that, if you have an idea that you're feeling good, that you really believe in, you have to step out to get it. I'm sure your brother will tell you the same thing. Before he reached where he is at Bungie, the first year went through after him carrying to go to do this, to do that, to do that, to do that, to do that. Many times he just said, I said, nah, boy, best I forget this music thing and go back to Caribbean.
Yeah.
Had he done that, we would not have Bungie
True.
that we have today. Marshall, same thing. So it's the same thing for business. You have to push the rough patch, and once you pass the rough patch, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, man. So let me bring the last. Let me give you guys the last word, folks. Listen, we had a wealth of information. As I said, and I say it plain. I feel like I'm in school every time I do one of these read because I learned so much from our guests. I learned a lot of things today as well. So here's what I want to ask you guys to do. What would you say? Two things together. Somebody who is into business, an entrepreneur, they start just like Warren was saying, they probably get a little licks here and there, but they're ready to give up. Like they say, making sense. What would you say to that person having walked the road or currently walking the road? What would you say to that person to encourage them, as well as maybe somebody who is looking on, thinking about getting into business? They're not sure. They're hearing all the negative things from friends, especially now with this COVID thing, boy, you have to be careful, thing and this. What would you say to those being an entrepreneur? What would you say? What would be your final words to people like that?
My word would be stick with like-minded people. That being stick with persons who have that same entrepreneur-like thinking. Because those are the ones who can tell you, yeah, this month was rough. It was rough for me last month and month before. But see, this month here, fantastic. Month before that, Great. So it will be the ups and downs, the cater for that. A lot of these self-help books help a lot. Stephen Covey and books like that. Those guys, if you read those books, they help a lot. I read a lot of those books coming up. They help a lot. And it was a lot of people who you know, Langston Roach. Wasn't always Langston Roach. He did other things that failed, but this is what caught. So that sometimes it's going to be bumpy, you have to cater for that. That's just life.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a person, if you are human, at some point in your life you would have fallen down, and you stay there and you just rock and roll. But you get up, you can stop as painful as it was, you can stop, you heal whatever cuts you heal, and you keep moving. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here today. So that's the same thing, telling myself that entrepreneur-like vision.
Yeah.
You're going to fall, you get shaken up, but keep moving, and trust me, at the end of the day, you'll be very satisfied with what you've accomplished.
Nice, man. Oretta.
And going with what Warren said, keep going. For me, I would say write your plans down, write your vision, have a vision board. A lot of people say write your vision, post it if it's on your mirror, wherever you look at every single day, and remember why you're doing what you're doing. And find ways in that will continue encouraging you, because as Warren says, it's not going to be positive all the time. But look, right now they have a lot of people or a lot of things on Instagram, people who are offering free courses on how to do different things. Now is the time, even if you're not into your business or you're thinking about it, use this time to do all your investigation, your marketing research, your trials and stuff. And remember that your family and friends may not be your biggest supporters.
True.
That sometimes is the hardest thing for people to realize.
Yeah.
You might come out with a boss product or a boss service, and your tight buddy friends will not be the ones to support you. So do not look at that as a failure. You push it out to other people beyond your circle and keep pushing it. Those are the people who will appreciate what you're doing and keep driving and keep pushing you and stuff. So don't say I do something and you show your friend or you show your family and they're like, nah, that wasn't nice, and you use that as a measuring tool of how successful you could be. Yeah. No, keep pushing your vision and keep trying. And nothing wrong if, as Warren said, you fail. But once you fail, do a post-mortem. Why did I fail? What could I have done better? Ask people, talk to other entrepreneurs and other stuff and see what you could do. Do the investigation. Try again, put it out there and see what it goes. And see how it goes. So that's my thing. Keep pushing whatever idea you have, keep pushing at it. It's going to be rough, but it's also sweet and successful when you sit down and you're like, woo, somebody bought my thing, somebody liked my thing. You know, that's the whole thing.
Nice, man. And that's where we wrap it up, folks. Don't go away at Holy Line. But that's where we want to wrap it up for this evening, folks. Oh, just bordering 2 hours. Way. They really say time flies when you're having fun, eh? Now it's time just flying because we just had a nice time. Again, I want to say thanks to Warren and Oretta Graham. And
thanks for having us.
Yeah, let me make sure I get these businesses right. So we have OA Productions, we have OA Designs, Love Creations and more, and then we have My Girl Industries. So some big names looking out for and we also have Raw and Tequin construction company. Was that, sir?
That's coming under My Girl Industries.
Oh, okay, all right, like a subsidiary kind of thing, no problem. But look out for those, look out for big things happening from those things, and please support your local. Support local. I support local. I don't make joke with that. No, I don't make joke with that. I support. Let me tell you what dread I am. If I walk down the road, for instance, and I see a man selling and I know how this might sound, but just saying, a man selling corn soup, a man selling gyro, and you know what I mean by gyro. You know who does make gyro, right? I'll quicker buy the corn. No, I'm just being real. I'll quicker buy the corn soup. Not telling you, that is me. If the gyro man by himself, no problem. Alright, that's what you have, I'll buy the gyro. But if you have a man selling corn soup next to the gyro man, I will quicker buy the corn soup. Because the corn soup man is I'm sorry, forgive me for how my song, guys. The corn soup man is 100% Trini. Like me, I local. I'm supporting him first. I'm not saying I wouldn't buy the gyro, but if it comes to making a choice, it's always local first for me. Unless the local has proven to be of a sub quality for the foreign thing, then. But once the local thing standing up, trust me, I'm buying my local. I am not a tea man. I from since small, my mother could tell you, I hate tea. I don't like tea. One of the businesses I support is a tea man. He was one of the guests on the first episode. Twigs Natural. You see Oretta calling him, she know it. Twigs Natural. 100% naturally made teas. Bay leaf, lemongrass, sorrel, all kind of thing. And the tea, I've seen the man processes. I go in the house. He works from home. I've seen the whole process. He walked through the thing from there. I see people home by he shedding bay leaf, pulling out leaves from bay leaf branch to get the real bay leaf. All kind of, so I know the thing authentic. 100% support all the time. The Lenny Gray ice cream chef. Well, as I say, no that I know she Narima dead. Dead.
I'm going for that.
Dead. Who you making joke? Dead. Yeah, if I only find out where this curry man is, the man with the curry bag, dead. You understand? But again, just want to say thanks to our guests for gracing us this evening. Look out for tomorrow. We have a very interesting show tomorrow. These are our guests tomorrow. We have Daniel and Hannah Atherton with Atties, and they have been, I've been watching their progress. And I wouldn't show, we'll leave everything for tomorrow, but let me just say this much. You can also get things delivered to you. They are into the food and beverage industry. And boy, just the look. I was telling somebody last week, we had a chef on last week. Somebody told me once that people first eat with their eyes. And at the time I didn't quite understand it, but I've learned it since. Because if you haven't tasted the thing before, you will be drawn to it by how it looks, how it's presented. And when you see how Daniel and Hannah present their stuff, and Mary, let me include Mary, their mom. When you see how they present their stuff, oh gosh, it really enticing and appetizing. Of course, they'll be joined by Candice Laborde. Candice is into dance and theater and stuff. And even before in preparing from this, I learned something from Candice. Oretta, you ever heard about kukua? It's an African dance kind of. Well, when I heard it first, I thought it was something to eat. Kukua, yeah. but it's a dance. It's an African themed dance. And Candice was exposing me to that, and I will look at a couple of videos. Real interesting. So Candice is going to be on tomorrow, please God. And we're talking about. So look out for them. Look out for our guests. And again, as I said, if you have an interesting topic, you have something that you want to discuss that you feel, you can talk on Red. As I told one of my guests, he asked me, what kind of channel you have? What is it rated? R, PG? I said rated PG-9. I said not even PG-13, PG-9. I want to be that safe with it. So if you have content that you feel, is at that within that vein that you want to discuss, we're not discussing politics, but at the same time, we're discussing national issues. Not a problem with that. Education, work, things that affect us on a daily basis, but not politics per se. Right? So don't come with no red and yellow and green thing. We're not talking that on Red. Sorry. Different station for that. But that's it. That's basically it here. So look out for tomorrow. Please go on we're looking for another fantastic show happening tomorrow. And let us lock it down here on Red. And let me say a pleasant good evening to you guys.